Yo, what up? It's your boy, Mr. Clutch, as always, and I'm here, as you already know, locked and loaded with the Gamers Lab. So real quick before I go to the video, I wanted to cover something. I actually wanted to apologize. It's been about a week since I made my last video. Long story short, I had a bit of an emergency. My wife was in the hospital, she was sick. Without going into too many details, basically, long story short, she went in, thought of something serious. Thank the Lord, it turned out to be something that was pretty minor, and we actually got released from the hospital yesterday. She got medicine, and everything's going to be alright with Mrs. Clutch. Again, I apologize that we were so long between putting out a video, but we should be back on a normal routine, or I'll be putting out videos pretty much daily. So I digress. Let's get locked and loaded. So if you guys have been following the 3-part series, we are on part 3 today of beating coverage and passing plays in Madden 16. In the first series I went over the man beaters, and in part 2 I went over beating cover 2 and beating cover 3. So today what I'm going to go over is beating cover 4 and beating the blitz. These two are usually, I'm be honest, the biggest headaches. If you're playing against somebody running just straight cover 4 all game, it can be pretty frustrating. And then if you have somebody that has a good blitz and you're just getting screamed at all day, it's impossible to pass the ball. So I want to cover these two very important things on how to counteract both of them, so you'll be a very successful Madden player this year. So let me talk about something real quick before I get into the video. In one of our other videos breaking down cover 2 and cover 3, I spent a pretty significant amount of time before I actually showed the plays, where I went over concepts and the thought processes behind the plays, the reasons why I wanted you guys to learn the stuff that I was showing you and practicing it to make you better players. Pretty much we're getting positive feedback, and I do understand that sometimes the videos do get a little lengthy, but let me try to explain why I try to put this stuff into the videos. At the Gamers Lab, we're interested in making you guys better Madden players. That's what our video's for. This is what this series is for. This is what the channel's for. This is why you subscribe to the channel. If you're looking for videos where you're going to get like 1 or 2 glitchy plays, I mean, we might put them in there every once in a while just to identify that they are a thing, and because we want you guys to know how to counter them. But for the most part, we're putting out videos, like I said, to make you better. So I'm breaking down the videos because I want to explain to you, and so you can understand what's going on, the thought process in my head, and the ideas why these things work. So if you're not into watching the really long videos, normally I do the explanations in the beginning. You can skip through the beginning and just get to the part where I'm actually showing you guys the plays. But a lot of times if you listen to the entire video, I'm not saying anything just for my health, and I'm usually going to be talking about concepts that are actually going to help you guys become better players overall. Now 99% of you guys love the videos. I got great feedback so far, and you guys like listening to me babble from what I've heard. But this is just to the few people that are a little frustrated because in the beginning of the video I may be putting out stuff that's a little slow in the beginning, or might seem a little boring at first. But if you understand, like I said, why I'm doing it, then you'll get a better idea. As I'm talking now, my controller dies because I'm babbling. But anyway, so that's why we put these videos out, man, and that's why I go through and do the explanations. So if you don't like it, then just fast forward, or maybe this channel's not for you. But if you are interested in actually becoming a better Madden player and understanding the game and consistently beating people instead of just having gimmicky plays that might work once and then you're screwed, then this is the channel you want to stick with. So anyway, now we're going to get into the actual breakdown. First thing I want to break down is cover 4. So one thing I want to show you guys that's really important is you need to identify the formation that they're running the cover 4 out of. I'm just going to pick any play here so I can get to the defense real quick. So the most popular cover 4 that I see, and that gives people the most problems, is this 1 out of 3-4 called the cover 4 drop QB contain. The reason and the difference is if you notice in this one, there are 2 hook zones and there are 3 people blitzing. Cover 4 is always going to have 4 people back, and most of the times, unless there's a blitz associated with it, you're always going to have 2 flats. But what's going to change is either you're going to have 3 down linemen and 2 hook zones, or you're going to have 4 down linemen and 1 hook zone. Now the difference in this is that if you have 3 down linemen, they're going to come at you a little slower. You're going to have more time to throw the ball, but there's going to be more coverage out there, which means the middle of the field is not going to be as open. So if we look at a different formation, such as this one with 4 down linemen, as you can see in this cover 4, there's 4 people blitzing, but there's only 1 hook zone across the middle. So that's going to determine if you can hit the middle of the field more consistently, and also how fast you need to get rid of the ball. If they have 4 down linemen, then you're going to have a little bit less time to get rid of the ball, but there'll be more open areas in the middle of the field. Whereas if you have 3 down linemen, the holes won't quite be as open, but you'll have way more time to look around for the ball. In my opinion, the difference between 3 down linemen and 4 down linemen is huge this year, and if you only have 3 down linemen, you can't contain, and I'll show you that. So the possibility to roll out always exists when you only have 3 down linemen, and when you have 4 down linemen, only having that 1 hook zone in the middle of the field is a little susceptible to getting dotted up. So I'm going to show you why you can beat both of them pretty easy, but the things that you need to do and keep in mind so that you are effectively beating them. Like I said, so you want to identify the strengths and the weaknesses. Now, when you're playing against a person that's running primarily cover 4 on you, whether it's 3 down linemen or 4 down linemen, you're going to want to have patience. The deep ball is not always going to be there. You know, you can run certain plays that are going to isolate 1 deep blue with 1 receiver where you can chuck it up and try to get an aggressive catch animation, but by and large you're not going to effectively move the ball against the person that's just running cover 4 by trying to attack them deep. Just like when we run cover 2 and when we played against running cover 3, we identified that the deep areas of the field were more weak, which is why you could attack those. Now you have 4 deep blues in cover 4, so those areas of the field are not going to be as open. So you want to attack them underneath, you want to stay patient, and be more methodical when you run the ball. When you run the plays. So that brings me to my next point, actually. When you're playing against somebody that's running cover 4, especially if they're doing it out of formation like 3-4, you're going to have all 4 of your cornerbacks that you're playing against are going to be dropped. So as you can see, they're all going to play back. Now, practice mode, they don't always drop because they come right out and get right on the line. But a lot of times you're going to have the cornerbacks playing the soft coverage. They're not pressed on the receivers, as you can see. So if I run the ball here, it's going to allow my wide receivers to engage the defensive backs and make a better block on them, opposed to if they're pressing them, they get a quick block shed and they can cut the ball to the inside and just play it a lot better. So run the ball. Run the ball. You want to get in 2nd and 3rd and manageable downs. You don't want to be stuck in 3rd and long against cover 4, because then you have to go deep and you have to attack the strength of the defense. If you stay patient, if you run the ball, you get into 2nd and 5s, 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 2s. That's going to force them to get out of that cover 4 shell that they're running, and either that or you can just dot them up underneath all day. So you'll see as we go along in the video real quick, I'm going to show you the concepts that I use to attack cover 4, but if you consistently use these concepts instead of trying to get into long range downs, then you'll be a lot more successful at moving the ball down the field. So like I said, pick up chunks of yardage, try to stay out of 3rd and long. So now we'll get into the actual plays that will be effective at beating cover 4. As always, like I've mentioned in the past video, anytime you're running against zone, screens are always going to be effective. I'm not going to show any screens because I did in the other videos, but they're going to work the same way. Use a screen to make them have to either man somebody up or keep it in mind, or potentially move out of that cover 4 so you can expose other areas of the field. So the areas of the field I like to attack with cover 4 are going to be the sidelines, similar to cover 2 and cover 3. You want to attack the area between the flat and the deep blue, so that's always going to be open. We'll show you a couple ways to attack that, but I like to do that with corners, with corner routes, as well as with curl routes. They're really effective against cover 4 because the deep blue, the cornerback is dropping, and a lot of times the linebacker or the DB that's in that flat zone doesn't slide out to play the curl very well. They slide to the flat and the curl will be wide open. The other thing that I like to do is attack the corners, but when you run it with the corner route, you got to run it a certain way, so you drag that deep blue out and he'll get wide open. The other thing I like to do to attack cover 4 is going to be attack them underneath and in the middle of the field, where they either only have 1 or 2 hooks on playing. So first I'm going to show you a play. I like to pass a lot I like to show you plays a lot out of this formation, just because it's really universal. There's a lot of people that run these type of plays, and you'll be able to find a lot of the concepts that I'm running out of formations similar to this one, this trips formation. So here we're going to run the curls combo. and we'll go against the 3-4 version of cover 4. So in this version you'll have 2 hook zones. Notice that it says QB drop contain, so the linemen are supposed to be containing, but because they're only blitzing 3, you still usually seal your linemen and you're going to be able to have the opportunity to roll out if you want. But we're going to attack the strong side of our offense because we're going to spread out the defense more, and on a play like this we should be able to get circle wide open. As you can see, he drops and it's easy to hit that pass. When they're consistently playing cover 4, there's nothing they can do against that. Let's run it here to the left. As you see, he drops and he's open for you as well. You just want to hit it as soon as he comes back to the ball. So curls are really effective at getting open, and something we like to use to attack the cover 4 shell very often. Another concept that, like I said, I like to use is the corner concept. As you can see in fade Y corner, you have a corner from your tight end, and we'll show you how to get this open against the cover 4 as well. So what you want to do is it's a flood concept. So you want to put R1 in a flat zone because he'll take care of that linebacker that's going to drop into the flat. And you want to streak circle on the outside so that he takes that deep blue away. Now, the difference between cover 4 and cover 3, and when you run this out of a formation like trips, is if you were running this out of like a bunch formation and you put circle on a streak, he would be lining up where R1 is. So if you did that, then he would streak and the deep safety would take him away and the corner would have nobody to cover, so he would still cover your corner. So against cover 4, you're going to want your streak to be on the outside of the field, so he distracts the outside cornerback that's in that right fourth of the deep side of the ball. So we'll go ahead and snap the ball, and as you'll see, X is going to get wide open right behind where circle's streaking, and get open underneath in that little purple pocket of the area of the field where you can make an easy catch and throw for a touchdown. Okay, so let's talk about attacking the defense over the middle of the field. So the play that I like to come out in a lot of times to attack the middle of the field is going to be the play called curl flats. So what you're going to usually have with this concept is you're going to have the inside guy on a post, you have the middle guy on an out, and you'll have the outside guy doing a curl. The way I like to attack the middle of the field with this though is with a few adjustments. What I like to do is I like to streak R1 and I like to put circle on an end. What you'll see is this is flooding that inside zone, and you'll see that the post will drag both of the hook zones back and the circle will come in underneath to get wide open. So we'll go ahead and do the audibles. That's what it should look like. Snap the ball, and as you can see, you have her circle coming in underneath to get an easy catch. Now the good thing about this play is that on the left side of the field you still have the curl concepts that I mentioned earlier, and you can also do other things with R1 if you want to get him open underneath as well. So another option we could possibly do is put R1 on a drag, and then we truly have a flood concept where you can either hit X, R1, or circle. I would say circle or R1 would be your first read, and if those are covered you can try to hit X over top lead. Okay guys, so the next concept I want to show you is more of a Y trail concept that you can use to attack the middle of the field as well. In this play we have it out a bunch. What we have is the tight end doing the Y trail and the circle doing the drag. What I'm actually going to do is put the middle guy on a hitch, because he's going to suck down that hook zone on the right side of the field, and we're going to get R1 open right across the middle of the field. And again, this is just exposing the fact that they only have 2 hook zones in the middle of the field. So go ahead and run the play. As she drags him down, just pass lead that up, and you'll get an easy 15 to 20 yards. And so the last thing that I want to talk about is that when they're only blitzing 3 people, you're going to have tons of time in the pocket to sit around and do nothing. So I'm just going to go ahead and snap the ball here, and what I'll show you guys is, you got double teams on both sides of the field. You can roll out, you can even take off if you want, as you can see I'm doing here with Peyton Manning. But when you roll out and when you get out of the pocket, what you're going to do is you're going to manipulate some of the zones, and you're going to get people open additionally. You don't have to do it specifically on this play, but that's just more of a concept that you want to keep in mind while you're running, especially against cover 4 or any other formation where they're only blitzing 3 linemen. Okay guys, so the final thing I want to cover in this series on passing against coverage in Madden 16 is going to be passing against the blitz. So a few things to keep in mind real quick before you talk about actual plays you want to run. So the most important thing to try to do is identify the type of the blitz and or the place that the blitz is coming from. If the blitz is coming from the edge, then that tells you that a lot of times they're blitzing outside linebackers and the flats are probably going to be open. That also determines how you block against them. If they're coming from the right or left edge, then you want to slide either right or left to pick up the blitz. Another key thing is using play action against the blitz. If you identify that they're coming from either an A or a B gap, if they're sending some A or B gap nanos at you, then what you're going to want to do to stop this blitz is actually run a play action. Run the play action, hold R2, you can stop the play action very early, but that play action animation is going to stop those A and B gap blitzes from coming in. Another thing that you can do is slide your line and block your running back. So if you slide your line, you can either pinch them down or slide them right and left, play with it. A lot of times sliding your line and or blocking your running back is going to pick those blitzes up. I don't know how many times I play online against people that I blitz constantly and they just never slide their line or block their running back. They just keep trying to run their play. Either they think that it's a fluke or they think that they can pass the ball off in time because the coverage is going to be weak enough that they can get the ball out of there. Now that is probably true because a lot of times in order to blitz effectively you need to blitz at least 4 or 5 people, which is going to leave coverage holes in your defense. But a lot of times if you can't pick the blitz up fast enough, then you're going to be making bad reads and a good user is going to be able to pick you off. So you want to be able to effectively pick up the blitz to give yourself at least a little bit of time to let your routes develop downfield and allow you to make a read so you can figure out where you want to pass the ball to. So the 3 ways to stop this are using play action if they're coming up the A or B gap, sliding your line, and blocking your running back. Now, as far as play action goes, another pro tip here. If they're edge blitzing you, if the blitz is coming off the edge, do not run play action. If you do a play that has play action, put your running back blocking, slide him instead, or do a different play where there is no play action in the play. A lot of times edge blitzes, if they pass commit, they're going to come straight down off the edge and get to your quarterback before he even finishes animation, and you won't be able to get the play off. So that's why I said you want to identify where the blitz is coming from. If it's coming from the middle of the line, either the A or the B gap, do run play action because you'll change the blitz angles and it'll mess the blitz up and it won't come in. If they're edge blitzing, do not play action because then that's just going to give them easy access to your quarterback. As soon as they're done, you're done their play action, they're going to be in your face macking you for a sack. So please keep that in mind. So that's the biggest ways to pick up the blitz, and then I'll just show you guys here a few plays where you can identify based on where they're blitzing from, where you want to attack the ball. A lot of times you'll see plays here like the Will Buck 3 press. I'm not saying this specifically is a good blitz, but what I'm saying is a lot of blitzes look like this and you'll be able to attack the sidelines. So in this play, I just came out in the curls play. What you'll see is that because they only have hook zones in, both of the flats should get wide open, and you can do quick passes out to the sideline and pick up easy gains. One of the formations that I actually really like that I don't have in the playbook I'm in now, but is the split shotgun formation where you'll have 2 running backs in the backfield, have them both going out on flats, and then you can attack either side of the field. Now, another play that I'm going to show you guys is the one out of quarters 1-3-7. This is a type of blitz where they are sending 6, but they're sending 5, and they do have flat zone coverage out there, but what now they're doing is leaving the middle of the field open. So against plays like this where they have weak spotty coverage over the top, what you want to do is use a play like 4 verticals where you can attack the middle of the field. So as you see, they come out, they have a lot of people on their line. Once you identify that this is the type of blitz they're doing, you can block your running back, slide in any direction. I'm going to slide left here because a lot of times when you slide in the opposite direction that the blitz is coming from, they do a better job of picking it up. And then we'll snap the ball, and as you can see, there's holes all over the defense. So that's the fundamental way that you want to attack the blitz. Figure out where it's coming from, slide protect, pick up your running back, and play action. And then as far as beating the coverage, you just want to identify where the blitz is coming from and attack those weak areas of the field. Thanks a ton for checking out the series. If you want to go back and check out the cover 2, cover 3 beating plays, as well as the man beating plays, you can do that on our channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm going to be posting videos a lot more often now because I'm back home and everything my wife is good. So we'll be real active again out here on the channel. I'm going to start posting a little bit more MUT content and then show you guys some of my gameplay to show you that the stuff that I'm showing you here in practice mode is working in the game. Thanks a million for supporting the videos. I appreciate you guys so much. Leave comments, tell me what you think. If you think I'm babbling too much, if the things that I'm telling you in the videos are actually helping you understand the game, let me know that too. And then, just keep practicing, keep labbing, and getting better, man. Thanks again for supporting the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. It's Mr. Clutch. I'm out.